Lesson number 4, describing the color of minerals. In this lesson, we will explore how geologists determine the physical property of color in a variety of minerals. You will be asked to stop and jot and think about what you have learned. Remember, you can pause, rewind, and rewatch as many times as you need to. Let's get started. Let's review what we already know. We know that minerals come in all shapes, sizes, and colors. In fact, there are over 4,000 minerals known on Earth today. The physical properties of minerals are the properties that can be observed with our senses. We are not using our sense of taste because that's dangerous and gross. We can use our senses to observe the physical properties of this mineral, for example. Minerals also have chemical properties, which cannot be observed with our senses alone. They're what a mineral is made up of. Scientists use a variety of tools in order to determine the chemical properties of minerals. For example, a geologist may use a scanning electron microscope in order to take a peek inside this mineral and see what it's made up of. Even geologists have a hard time classifying minerals. That's because there's just so many of them, and sometimes their physical properties can be deceiving. That's why geologists need to perform a variety of tests in order to classify a mineral. These tests can include field tests, which are performed outdoors or in the field, and they can include chemical tests, which are performed to determine a mineral's chemical properties. Minerals and color. Color is the first physical property of minerals that we will explore in this unit. Color comes in two forms when it comes to minerals. First is the observable color. Minerals often cannot be identified based on the observable color alone. An observable color is the color you can see with your eyes alone. Stop and jot. What is the observable color of the two minerals seen below? Identifying colors. This is the second kind of color a mineral can have. An identifying color is the color of the powdered form of a mineral. You can see here that the identifying color of this mineral is a reddish brown. A mineral's identifying color is more reliable for geologists to use when classifying minerals. Minerals sometimes have very different identifying colors than their observable colors, and that's what makes them tricky. Let's take a closer look. Remember our two minerals? They look very different because their observable colors are not the same at all. But let's take a closer look at their identifying colors. Stop and jot. What do you notice about the identifying colors of these two mineral samples? Remember, the identifying color is the powdered form of a mineral. So what? Even though minerals may look different, sometimes they're really the same. Both of these samples are actually examples of the mineral hematite. Hematite's observable color may vary, as you can see in these two samples, but its identifying color is always red. So how do geologists determine the identifying color of a mineral? That's a good question. Geologists use a special field test called a streak test. A streak test can be performed by wiping a mineral across a hard, porous surface to produce a streak of color. Usually, geologists use a porcelain plate called a streak plate to perform this field test. Geologists determine the identifying color of a mineral by looking at the streak of the powdered form of the mineral left behind on the plate. As you can see here, the observable color of these two minerals are very similar. They're both silverish gray, but their identifying color is very different. This would tell a geologist that these are actually different minerals, even though they may look the same. Stop and jot. What is the difference between a mineral's observable color and identifying color? Remember, you can always rewind and rewatch any part of this video to help you answer this question. Okay, let's review. In this lesson, we learned one physical property of minerals is color. The observable color of a mineral is sometimes different from its identifying color. Geologists use a streak test to determine the identifying color of minerals. Geologists use this information to help name and identify different minerals. Okay. We have come to the end of lesson number 4, so let's stop and jot. What do you still wonder about minerals?